Hey, it's Frank here with 4D Honeybee, and I'm just going to do an inspection of my honey supers on box number 1 here, hive number 1. I started off by putting 8 frames in here, more or less by accident. I didn't want to put 10 in, but I meant to put 9 in. I put 8 in by accident because I wanted to basically have less number of frames in order that the bees will build out the frames wider, and it'll be a little more efficient for honey production, I guess, for harvesting the honey. But I put 8 in, and they weren't drawn out combs. So right away, YouTubers told me that because they're not drawn out comb, there's a good chance that they're gonna make a mess in there, and they did. Within a week, they'd already built bridges and all kinds of crazy stuff on the comb. So I went back in and I promptly changed it to 9 frames, and I just decided to monitor it and see if they would build out 9 frames nicely. And so far it's so good. You can see my 2 resident jumping bees here. One lives in here and the other one lives right in there. Hopefully they don't come out and have breakfast on my honeybees. So let's just do a quick inspection now to check and see if it's building out okay. I'm at about the 3-week mark since I've installed these this super, and this hive is the strong hive. They should be building out some comb and probably capping some of the honey already. Let's see how they're doing. Okay, there's a good amount of comb being built out here. Look at how quiet and calm these bees are. It's not an ideal day for beekeeping. It's about 21 degrees, which is about 73, 74 Fahrenheit, and it's overcast, but these bees have been so nice and so calm that I haven't even fired up my smoker, which could be a tactical error if they decide to turn on me. But okay, I'm looking here and I do see that they are building out these frames fantastically. I love it. Here I'm going to give you a vertical look down so that you can see how they are building them up wider than normal. You see that? And I don't see any kind of a mess. It looks like they are building out the inner maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 frames wider than it would normally be, but with enough space to be able to work on each of the frames. So that's really good. I'm gonna have another quick look in there though and just see and make sure that they are indeed filling those up with honey, but it's looking really good so far. Let's have a closer look now. Again, this is only about my 4th or 5th time beekeeping without gloves on, so I'm trying to be very cautious of what I'm saying, but conscious of where I'm putting my fingers as well. Oh, this frame's getting heavy, and this is one of the outside ones. It's already got a good deal of nectar in it. So, oh, and they've started to cap this side too. Look at that. So that's a good sign. Bit of burr comb on the bottom, which I'm not going to worry about. I may remove it a little later once they filled up more of these frames. But that looks good. Wow, and the other frames look like they're getting filled with honey too. So that's a good sign. And again, until they build out the frames, it's a lot easier to pull out the frames when they're not packed so tightly together. But again, that will change as they do build out the comb, because these next couple of frames are packed a little more tightly together because they've built out the comb so far. I'll give you a close look at this one. Oh yeah, and it's getting heavy with honey too. Wow, beautiful. What a beautiful frame. I'll try to give you the profile look here so that you can see. You see how they're capping it off really nicely? There is going to be honey from this hive this year. That's fantastic. And you can see how they're building it out just wider than the edge of the frame. So that's my goal. Again, I don't cut off the wax capping. I use a roller to puncture it so that I don't have to cut it off. So building it out is not an issue to me. Like I wouldn't have to worry about how I cut it, because I'm not going to cut it. So I'm going to pull out this next one too. This next one looks to be oh, look at this guy. This guy's checking out my inspections too. don't think you want to be in the hive, fella. So, mosey on. Yeah, this next frame looks like the best one. It looks like it's really built out on both sides. I cannot believe how thick they're building propolis on this. I've never seen this either. It's like an actual gum. I'm gonna keep this and chew it because it's supposed to be really, really good for you. And I mean, look at how thick it is. It actually looks like a paste as opposed to a little film or a little gob of something. So I'm gonna keep that for later. And they say it has a real good medicinal value, but I just think it's neat. Okay, let's see if I can get a finger in here without squishing a bee or otherwise getting them upset. And yeah, I mean, I am liking the fact that it's a lot easier to pull out these frames when they're not packed so tightly together. Wow, look at this. It's beautiful. They are starting to cap off some honey here. And look at how thick this frame is. It's already quite heavy, but the frame isn't even built out yet. You can see that at the end here, they still have quite a ways to go before they've built out all the wax on it. So this is going to be really good. I'm very happy with this. All right, so I'm going to put this back together. I'm not going to bother them anymore. Get out of there, guys, so I don't squish you. And I'm going to consider this 9-frame box a success. And again, I recommend, though, that if you're going to do it, the best way to do it is to start off with 10 frames or start off with built-out comb. If your frames already have comb built out on them, then it's less likely that they'll create the crazy bridges and the crazy mess of comb that mine did when I put 8 in. So that's my message to you on 4D Honeybee. Thanks for joining me.